What's the Buzz? America's Best Podcast presents On the Record. Hello, everybody. This is Mad Dog DeCipio, joined as I am each and every week by the mouth of the South herself, Amelia the Pitbull Chapman, and the Rowdy Rev, Pastor Steve Kwiatkowski. Tonight, oh man, we got a good one. The consequences of artificial intelligence, AI. Neil, what do you know about AI?
All I know is that it's going to be taking over the world eventually, they say. A lot of jobs.
Well, that's either a very good thing or the worst thing that could happen, depending on how you look at it.
Very bad, I think, in certain things. Because
What
if
do you
want
think,
to,
Pastor?
Oh, it's bad. I mean, isn't that the point of Satan giving knowledge, right?
yes.
Well,
Remember that in the garden when they ate of the forbidden fruit?
yeah, I don't know about all that. And the reason, and I would have said I agree with that at one point. I'm not real sure I agree with that now, only because I feel like there's a hidden agenda here that's not bad, and I feel I have a gut feeling that some of the people working hard with AI are trying to create this war-free world where artificial intelligence has the final say over war and who starts wars and who finishes wars, provided they can program it. But the danger is something Amelia and I talked before we went on the air, which is free thinking AI. We just watched a little video clip of a robot that has a mind, literally a mind of its own, that you can't program it. Think of it this way, folks. The robot programmed itself is what happened because of a chip. All right. It's 100 million megabyte chip that's faster than any human brain on planet Earth. Okay. And how do you compete with that? You're going to see that tonight, by the way. But I would have agreed with you at one point, but I don't think the overall agenda is bad. I think that, like anything else, if you take a bad idea and give it to a bad person, you're going to end up with a shitload of trouble.
I just remember, this is true. Now, I remember, well, we all should know this. Remember when Jesus was led up to the mount, Satan showed him the kingdoms of the world.
Right.
And he said, bow down to me and I'll give you all of this. And you could, but I think the Lord shows us anyway, our eternity's not here.
No, well, it's never been here. But, and I think what I said plays directly into what you were saying.
Yeah.
Because if you think about AI, it's not going to create itself. It takes people to create AI. It takes people to develop programs.
It's only going to do what you teach it to
It's going to do exactly. It's only going to do what you tell it to do. But you're going to hear Elon Musk and people in Australia tonight.
I'm so leery of that man anymore.
I'm not. I would have been, but I heard him say something today that reassured me. And you're going to hear it tonight. I'll tell you what. We're talking about Elon. Let's hear from Elon himself.
Well, the singularity, it's a singularity like a black hole, because you don't know what happens after that. It's hard to predict. So I think we should be cautious with AI, and I think there should be some government oversight, because it affects it's a danger to the public. And so when you have things that are a danger to the public, like let's say, so food and drugs. That's why we have the Food and Drug Administration and the Federal Aviation Administration, the FCC. We have these agencies to oversee things that affect the public, where there could be public harm.
Okay, it's like anything else. His big thing, and you heard him say it 2 or 3 times, is How do we protect the public?
Mhm.
Well, how do we do that? Amelia, give me an idea of how AI can protect the public.
Well, I would put a disclaimer with, first of all, maybe with something that you're going to give to a certain company. Say it may, you could give a word to it, but may not work.
Okay. Well, so,
No.
the disclaimers, sure. How about transparency?
Yes.
Well, that goes in right with a disclaimer. Transparency. One of the big things. It's the first thing on our list tonight. Lack of transparency in AI systems, particularly in deep learning models that can be complex and difficult to interpret, is a pressing issue. Thereby, a disclaimer would absolutely work. The opaqueness obscures the decision making and underlying logic of these technologies. In other words, you can get lost in the lingo. Just like if you're not familiar with the Bible, the pastor is very familiar with the Bible. If you're not familiar with the Bible, you could get lost in a hurry. I mean, you could get deeply in the woods if you don't know the Bible. And that's why guys like Pastor Steve and other pastors are around to help you navigate the way. When you're talking about artificial intelligence, well, the $1 million question is, who do we trust? That's the question. Okay? You're going to hear Elon a couple times tonight. I have another video you're going to hear in a little bit. But Elon is one of those guys, I think, and this is why a pastor, I don't think we'll have much to worry about with Elon Musk. You're going to hear him talk about meeting with the head of Google. And he and the head of Google had a conversation. He was at the guy's house, okay? And the head of Google, and you're going to hear Elon say this, the head of Google called Elon Musk a speciesist. I want to say that word again because I've never heard it before. It's called a speciesist. Specist. A speciesist. In other words, someone who cares about the species, humanity.
Yeah.
Because the head of Google does not. We already know that.
Anything you can, like I said before, you look up on Google, you can't find what you found before the pandemic.
No, they're scrubbing it dry.
Yeah.
It's like
it's so homogeneous. I don't even use Google anymore.
I don't either.
Well, I don't do it.
DuckDuckGo is good. Now I understand. I've used DuckDuckGo and I've had good results.
Yeah, that or Yahoo or Bing. Bing is another one.
I won't use Bing. I won't use Yahoo because they're all in bed together. They all gather all the same information from what's called a clearinghouse. Believe it or not, there's a clearinghouse. The government's in charge of it. The government will tell you what you can search for.
Explains it.
That's it.
That explains.
Then I need to change my homepage.
That's why I get my information from the dark web. You know why? Because it's uncensored. Is it a little dangerous? Yeah. But I use the dark web for one reason. Because it's transparent. You know what you're getting into.
And you're going to get accurate information.
Why I use the dark web. Okay.
The problem is so many people just sheeple take for people's word. You can't take anybody's word anymore.
No. No, you can't.
Reagan said it best about, I'm here from the government. I'm here to help. When you hear that, run like hell.
Yeah. If you hear somebody say,
like hell.
I'm here from the IRS to help you with your taxes.
No.
Run like a monkey.
That's it.
Bye.
You can run your ass the hell out of there.
Not to be trusted.
No, never. Don't ever, never, ever, ever trust the government. Ever. Love
Especially
your country. Love your country. I tell people, Amelia, you heard me say it a million times.
Absolutely.
I love my country, but I hate my government.
Hate your government.
I hate it. I love my country, but I hate my government. Because government as all, and let's not pick on the U.S. government because they're equally culpable. Every government in this world, on this plane, every single government is set up to be your enemy.
Oh yeah.
Government was never set up to be your friend.
No.
Nope.
Socialism never worked in the past. It's not going to work now, and that's what we're living under. We see it.
Yeah, well, because Sleepy Joe is a socialist.
Yeah.
Clearly,
we know that. Absolutely, of course, we know that. And he never. It doesn't make any bones about it.
No,
doesn't make any bones about it.
Nope.
Never pretended to. Somebody's in our chat box, Leon. Yep, yes, he just said that, Leon. Pastor Steve just said that.
It. Isn't that something?
Reagan warned us not to trust government.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who else said that too. You might be surprised. President Eisenhower,
Dwight D.
one of the greatest war generals in history, said, "Don't trust your government." He said, and I quote, he said, "Don't trust the military-industrial complex. They're not your friend."
No, they're not.
And here's the guy that was the head of the military, telling you don't trust the military.
It's really something.
All right? What does that tell you?
Right.
They knew something back then. Artificial intelligence, folks, is not a new thing. When was the first AI? Back in 1947. Yep, 1947. You're thinking, well, what the hell, Angelo? Mad Dog? What was in 1947? What happened in 1947? The technological revolution. Things were invented back then. Television, radio, transistors. That was artificial intelligence of the day. Do you think before somebody saw a television, they didn't know what the hell they were looking at?
Oh, they did not. Like CB radios too, right? CB radios.
Oh, CBs came way later. Way later.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
You know, Israel became a nation again in 1948. I was just going to bring that up.
Well,
it all coincides.
It all coincides, absolutely. But we're going to try and keep, and I respect the fact that you're the pastor here, and we're going to try and keep it AI related, but we are going to delve deep tomorrow night in the Bible, because that's going to go, because I got this planned out pretty good. And so tonight, I don't want to delve too deep into scripture or what the Bible says. Tonight, we're going to discuss just on the surface, the pros and cons of artificial intelligence. So, Pastor, just without even looking at your list there that you have, just off the top of your head, what are some of the things you consider AI beneficial?
What would be a benefit of having AI?
Yeah.
So many damn people are lazy that don't want to work. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. I mean, on a human,
he's absolutely right.
He's the truth. He's the
lazy. I mean, you know, I mean, and I know tomorrow we're doing a biblical show, but we're not supposed to be lazy.
No.
A man's work is worth his wages, but I think but it's a good thing if you want to be lazy. I mean, it'll do it for you.
Well, here's the thing. Leon answered the question. Roswell was in 1947.
Yeah.
Thank you, Leon. Roswell, New Mexico. What happened? Saucer crash. Why is that important to AI? Where the hell do you think the technological revolution came from?
Yeah.
You can't make this up. Do you see, folks, how my twisted mind is like a rapid fire machine that just connects the fucking dots like crazy?
Yeah.
You know? Then I got to take Amelia and Pastor Steve and bring them up. You know, I have to lift them up.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, what happened to the good old days when you wanted to spell a word?
Joke,
I know.
What happened to the good old days when you wanted to spell a word, get the dictionary out, and there you go. Now you can just ask Alexa, and that's the lazy way that Pastor Steve was talking about. And she'll spell it out for you.
Exactly right. No, the Leon was right, though. Roswell.
Yeah.
And that's where the technological revolution started.
Yeah.
But that gave birth to the AI revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Television was AI. Radio was AI. It was artificial intelligence largely created by private industry. And then, of course, the military gets their grubby hands on shit and perverts and hijacks and distorts everything because that's what they do best. They cheat, maim, fucking kill.
Yeah.
That's what the military does.
Sure.
That's their only job, is to fucking kill.
Right.
You know? That's why I have no respect for the military, although I have great respect for the men and women who serve. I think that they put themselves in harm's way for no reason, though, because your country doesn't give a shit about you, not your military anyway. They don't give two fucks about you. If they did, we wouldn't have any need for Wounded Warrior Project. So, I love my country, as I said, but I hate my government. Fuck you guys.
That's right. Hey, that's funny you said that. I posted something about that earlier.
It's true. You look, Pastor, great minds,
Great minds think alike. I posted something about that earlier.
So here's the thing, Amelia, I'm going to bring you up here.
Okay.
You deal in. Let me bring Amelia up here.
Mm-hmm.
You deal in the medical profession.
Yes.
Give me an idea of, because I got a couple of things in my head here.
Mm-hmm.
Give me an idea of some of the things you work with every day that would be considered AI.
Well, of course, the computers, we log in the patient's information and we talk on the phone, get them appointments.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing.
Yep.
And then, of course, we run their credit card on this machine for payment.
Yep.
Or
how about the doctors? The doctors, almost every, do you realize that almost every instrument a doctor uses is artificial intelligence?
Yeah. And that's pretty much because they'll, check your heart rate, the blood pressure.
Yeah. Yes.
All the machinery.
Yes.
All the machinery that Amelia's doctor's office uses was created to provide the fastest and most accurate results possible without a human doing it.
Right. The pumps
That's all
they
machinery,
use.
medical equipment, X-rays, CT scans, MRIs, EKG machines, all that stuff.
Yes.
All artificial intelligence.
It is. And the scary part is
those are ideas of and examples of AI that benefit people. But there are also, we're going to get into a lot of them. There are examples of AI that are not so good for people. We're going to talk about that in a bit too. Yeah. But before I do that, let me just tell everybody that we are WWTF Radio on the Podbean Network, on Spotify. We are all over the world and around the block. So take a look at, we'll just take a small station ID
commercial break. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, take a look at this. What are they doing in Australia? Let's take a look.
What's Buzz Podcast wants to welcome Radioactive FM 88.6 in Wellington, New Zealand, Radio Perth, Australia, and RTL Radio 102.5 in Milan, Italy. Welcome aboard, and welcome to the Buzz.
It's 7:18 p.m. in New York City and up and down the East Coast. Amelia, what's it doing in Florida tonight?
It's hot, and I would think we're going to probably get a little bit of rain.
Yeah, we got some rain today, this morning. We got
Oh, that hurricane passed you guys?
Rain, in fact, I have a leaky bathroom roof now. My ceiling's dripping water.
Is it? Wow.
Yeah, well, they had to patch it up before, and I guess because it got the wind or whatever blew the thing loose. Anyway, my wife woke up this morning to go into the bathroom, and she's like, "Why is the floor wet?"
Uh-oh.
It wasn't me. She looked up, and there was water dripping from the ceiling. Gotta fix it anyway.
Yeah.
So I wanted to find out.
What the scary part is like the artificial intelligence too. It's like you type in a word, it can write you a whole essay or a thesis for a college, and that's
well.
Scary.
Wait a minute, we're going to talk. Wait, I'm gonna.
That's a good point.
I'm gonna wait. You see what she just said? I'm gonna blow your mind. Okay, how's this for a segue, Amelia? You opened up the door, and Angelo is going to step his big feet right through it. Watch this.
Google released its chatbot named Bard.
It's really here to help you brainstorm ideas, to generate content like a speech or a blog post or an email.
We were introduced to Bard by Google Vice President Sissy Shao and Senior Vice President James Manyika.
Here's Bard. And
the first thing we learned was that Bard does not look for answers on the internet like Google search does.
So I wanted to get inspiration from some of the best speeches in the world.
Bard's replies come from a self-contained program that was mostly self-taught. Our experience was unsettling.
Confounding. Absolutely confounding.
Bard appeared to possess the sum of human knowledge. With microchips more than 100,000 times faster than the human brain. We asked Bard to summarize the New Testament. It did, in 5 seconds and 17 words.
In Latin.
We asked for it in Latin. That took another 4 seconds. Then, we played with a famous 6-word short story, often attributed to Hemingway.
For sale, baby shoes, never worn.
Wow.
The only prompt we gave was finish this story. In 5 seconds.
Holy cow. The shoes were a gift from my wife, but we never had a baby. They were...
From the 6-word prompt, Bard created a deeply human tale with characters it invented, including a man whose wife could not conceive and a stranger grieving after a miscarriage and longing for closure.
I am rarely speechless. I don't know what to make of this. Give me...
We asked for the story in verse. In 5 seconds, there was a poem written by a machine with breathtaking insight into the mystery of faith. Bard wrote, "She knew her baby's soul would always be alive." The humanity, at superhuman speed, was a shock.
How is this possible?
James Manyika told us that over several months, Bard read most everything on the internet and created a model of what language looks like. Rather than search, its answers come from this language model.
So, for example, if I said to you, Scott, peanut butter and?
Jelly.
Right. So it tries and learns to predict, okay, so peanut butter usually is followed by jelly. It tries to predict the most probable next words based on everything it's learned. So it's not going out to find stuff. It's just predicting the next word.
But it doesn't feel like that. We asked Bard why it helps people, and it replied, quote, "Because it makes me happy."
Bard, to my eye, appears to be thinking, appears to be making judgments. That's not what's happening. These machines are not sentient. They are not aware of themselves.
They're not sentient. They're not aware of themselves. They can exhibit behaviors that look like that. Because keep in mind, they've learned from us. We are sentient beings. We have beings that have feelings, emotions, ideas, thoughts, perspectives. We've reflected all that in books, in novels, in fiction. So when they learn from that, they build patterns from that. So it's no surprise to me that the exhibited behavior sometimes looks like maybe there's somebody behind it. There's nobody there. These are not sentient beings.
Zimbabwe-born, Oxford-educated James Manyika holds a new position at Google. His job is to think about how AI and humanity will best coexist.
AI has the potential to change many ways in which we've thought about society, about what we're able to do, the problems we can solve.
But AI itself will pose its own problems. Could Hemingway write a better short story? Maybe. But Bard can write 1,000,000 before Hemingway could finish one. Imagine that level of automation across the economy.
A lot of people can be replaced by this technology.
Yes, there are some job occupations that will start to decline over time. There are also new job categories that will grow over time. But the biggest change will be the jobs that will be changed. Something like more than 2/3 will have their definitions change. Not go away, but change. Because they're now being assisted by AI and by automation. So this is a profound change, which has implications for skills. How do we assist people build new skills, learn to work alongside machines, and how do these complement what people do today?
Wow.
Well, you opened up a Pandora's box, kiddo.
Yeah, that's just going to tell me that they're going to need probably college.
It's funny because what he said and what was really important of that message, what he said was many jobs, he said some jobs will go away. And many jobs will be recategorized, but most jobs will stay, but they'll be changed.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter is a perfect example. Okay, my daughter works for Amazon now.
Mm-hmm.
That whole place is AI. The whole place is automated. Okay? But here, my daughter she's going to nursing school.
Yeah.
And they will help her to do that. Okay? So they're not forgetting the human element, but they're also remembering where their bread is buttered.
Yeah.
You know? And you're going to hear when I know Elon Musk gives you the willies. Not so much me. I want you to give the guy, give him the benefit, because you're going to hear another piece of clip from him in a little bit, but not just yet. What we're going to do right now is take a couple of spots from our sponsors and Tom McDonald. Let's listen to this.
Step 1, train the people only to consume. Step 2, infiltrate adults with the news. Step 3, indoctrinate the children through the schools and the music and the apps on the phones that they use. Step 4, separate the right from the left. Step 5, separate the white from the black. Step 6, separate the rich from the poor. Use religion and equality to separate them more. Step 7, fabricate a problem, made a lie. Step 8, put it on the news every night. Step 9, when people start to fight and divide, take control. This is called situational design.
Ayoko na, Zay.
Ayun na, pre. Kaya siguro lagi nakatingin, kasi yun na lamang ang magagawa. Inaabangan ako na mawala, kaso lang ang malala, nadapa, kakatingala.
Game? Sa kapunta to the moon, road trip, vroom vroom, skr skr, zoom zoom.
We are back tonight. The intended or unintended consequences of artificial intelligence. One of the things that I was intrigued by, and I have a list here for those of you who want to know what the hell are we holding in our hands here. We have a list of the top 15 consequences, intended or not, of artificial intelligence. One of the things that popped right out at me was the loss of human connection, number 12.
Oh, yes.
Let's talk about
That's
that, Pastor.
so deep. Well, look
The
at
loss of, here's what it said. Let me just run this by everybody. Here's what it said. Increasing reliance on AI-driven communication and interactions could lead to diminished empathy, social skills, and human connections. Well, there are already people running around the world that are fucking robots anyway.
Oh, yes.
with no hearts and no souls.
Yep.
You don't need AI to add to the fire, okay? Because these people are lost to begin with, and AI is their best friend, okay? Understand this, to preserve the essence of our social nature, and we are social people. We're social beings. We need other people. That's why, what did they do? The first thing they did when COVID hit, what did they do?
We were all staring through a screen at everybody.
Yeah, separate people.
And even
6
with our
feet
church,
apart.
6. Notice the number 6.
6 feet apart. You had to talk through windows. You had to, old people couldn't hug their loved ones. My father died in a hospital. I saw him 3 weeks before he died.
Yep.
And for 3 weeks, I couldn't see him.
Yep.
Okay?
Yeah,
I still live with that. Okay? I still live with that. People who need that human touch the most, the elderly, were dying like flies because they couldn't touch people.
I know.
You know?
Oh, I know.
People don't get that. They don't fucking get that. To preserve the essence of our social nature, we must strive to maintain a balance between technology and human interaction. The first thing they did when COVID hit was everybody's got to separate.
Yeah.
Everybody's got the first thing they did. Divide and conquer.
You took the word right out of my mouth. I watched it happen with all the churches.
Yep.
In some of the churches that I serve, guess what church refused to close their doors? Union Protestant Church of Clementon. And guess what? We had a surge of people that flew in. I had about 40 people attending every Sunday because all the churches were closed. They're like, well, we're going to go to Union if you're open.
First of all, the governor of this state acted so illegally.
Yes, he did.
It's not even funny.
He violated our
violated the separation of church and state.
Yes, he should have never infringed upon that.
Every governor, the president of the United States said, I can't tell the governors what to do, but I hope they do the right thing. Donald Trump did the right thing by stepping out of it because he's the president. The states are individual territories. I respect that. I don't respect when governors take it, to task that they have the right to shut down the church. No, you don't. It's clearly defined by the United States Constitution, separation of church and state. That's a fundamental right under the Bill of Rights.
Correct.
Okay. AI, Amelia, going to bring you up again.
Okay.
I'm going to bring up into the big screen. Here you go. Hot damn. Where's your name at? Here it is. That's the Pitbull, Amelia Chapman. Amelia.
Yes.
Some of the unintended consequences of AI systems due to their complexity and lack of human oversight might exhibit unexpected or unintended consequences. Give me an idea of some unusual behavior or unintended consequences of AI going wrong.
Well, like for example, like let's say that in my field, let's say that you scan something and it's the wrong medication to give to a patient. Could be
absolutely sure.
Yeah. Or maybe a wrong treatment, like cancer treatment.
People need to remember something too. I'm going to pull back for just a second, Neil. People need to remember something too. It doesn't matter where you go in this country, every pharmacy, every drugstore, every hospital, everyone who deals with medicine or any kind of medical related product, there's a barcode on everything. If you have one of those days, for example, and you take that one, you scan it, and God forbid you give the wrong medicine to the wrong patient, there's no telling what the unintended consequences of that could be.
Or AI could be down.
Yeah. What happens worse if AI goes down and then a person has to manually do it.
Correct.
Okay, so you had a long day. Your eyes are tired. Your head is fuzzy. Guess what? In that case, the human being is worse than the AI because they should know better.
Yes.
Here's what it says, Neil. It says the unpredictability, especially this kind of unpredictability, can result in outcomes that negatively impact individuals, businesses, or society as a whole. Yeah. For example, let's say, here you go, Pastor. Here's a good one for you. Let's say the president gets some advice from Dr. Fauci. That piece of shit.
Well, you just took the word out of my mouth.
Dr. Fauci says, okay, America, the president told me I could say this now. So everybody now has to drink a half a cup of water and a quarter cup of bleach. Oh. And that'll make your COVID go away. Because this is what this idiot was doing. He was giving bad medical advice to the whole country, and people were dying like flies.
Yes.
Yeah. Look at Andrew Cuomo when he was the governor of New York.
Oh,
you know how many people died in just in New York State alone?
That man is of the devil.
Absolutely.
Pure.
He thought he was a fucking mafia boss. They were holding press conferences like a fucking mob boss at the commission meeting.
Like Fat Boy Christie.
Yeah.
It was like their version of the Kool-Aid, if you know the pun of that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and that's a different show for that, but it's that same mentality.
Yeah.
Hitler.
Absolutely. It's a fascist mentality.
Yes,
for sure.
It is. Absolutely.
Yes.
Pastor, I'm going to bring you up here.
Yes, sir.
You are on the big camera tonight. Okay.
Yes,
Pastor
sir.
Steve Kwiatkowski. Now, let me tell everybody, Pastor Stephen Kwiatkowski is the pastor of Union Church in the Wilderness. It is an Anglican church at 22 Naylor Avenue in the little town of Clementon, New Jersey. Fine little town. It's still okay. We haven't completely gone off the rails yet.
That's true.
Not if we can help it. You know
Amen.
what? The people are staying at bay.
We're staying strong.
I think people in this area particularly are standing their ground.
They are.
Yes, they are. They are. Standing their ground. They're taking no shit.
No, they're not.
No.
They're not.
People don't take no shit up here. No, baby.
And we're actually the southern part of the state, so we have that mentality.
Yeah, we're southern redneck motherfuckers.
They are. Oh yeah. North Jersey and South Jersey are two different places.
It's like two different countries. That's like right. North and South Korea.
You got that right.
That's how North and South Jersey are, and that's not even bullshit. Right. He's not even lying.
That's true.
Pastor Steve Kwiatkowski is the pastor of Union Church, Anglican Church at 22 Naylor Avenue in Clementon, New Jersey. Pastor's number is 856-896-5332. Again, 856-896-5332. He has that phone with him at all times if you need prayer, if you need advice, spiritual advice, if you're having a really, really down time and you need someone to help lift your spirits, Pastor Steve Kwiatkowski, that's what God pays him for.
Absolutely. He is the best to talk to.
Oh, yep. Thank you. Praise God. Praise God.
Yep. Don't talk to me because I'm a prick. Okay. That's who I am. I'm a prick. I just don't like people anymore. I mean, I hate to say that. But I don't like people.
You're okay. You're not a prick. You're all right.
I'd rather be around my pets than some people.
That's me. That's me. I am an animal person all the way.
Because you know what? They love you.
Yes.
They are appreciative. You look at some people now, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
I was just
here's the funny thing about that, and it's going to sound crazy, but I love people, but I don't like them. You get what I mean by that?
You're commanded to love them, but you don't have to like them.
Exactly. Yeah. I love people. You know, that's one of the things I'm supposed to do as a Christian. I love people.
Absolutely.
But I don't like the fuckers. They don't. They just don't like people.
Some get on your nerves. I know.
Oh boy, do they!
Holy hey, look, I'd be lying if I said they didn't.
Oh no,
I know, right?
You're allowed to be human, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's one of the things, Pastor.
Yes, sir.
This is a big deal. Amelia.
Yes.
Number 13 on our list. Pastor number 13.
Misinformation and manipulation.
Tell everybody what that says, Pastor Steve.
AI-generated content, such as deep fakes, contributes to the spread of false information and the manipulation of public opinion. Efforts to detect and combat AI-generated misinformation are critical in preserving the integrity of information in the digital age.
Stop right there, Pastor. Stop right there. That, my friend, is the essence of what the last 2-3 years has been all about.
I know.
And
I know. You're
you
right.
had an upfront, a close and personal seat to that fiasco.
Yo, you're not kidding. I didn't
the
comply.
AI generation came in the full. I really believe that too. I believe the AI generation came in the fullness with COVID. Yes. I think they used COVID to weave it right in. What do you think about that, Pastor?
Oh, I know they did. It was all part of their agenda the entire time.
Tell everybody what we're talking about, Steve.
About artificial intelligence?
Yep. Tell everybody. What's the Bible telling us?
Well, I mean, that is truly of Satan. I mean, he divides and conquers. That's first of all. He separates people. And of course, he wants, instead of relying on people, which God created, why not rely on something fake? Because Satan has always tried to outdo God. This is why he was cast out of heaven, right? Yep. So, of course, he's a lesser than God, but he's going to do everything he can to deceive people.
Absolutely.
So there's nothing like, I mean, we have souls, right?
Yep.
Jesus said the kingdom of God is within.
And
these things don't have the kingdom of God within.
I'm going to stop him right there, Pastor. You said the magic word. We have souls.
Absolutely.
A machine does not have a soul.
That is correct.
You understand that? Satan is a killing machine. Satan is AI, okay? Satan is the essence of AI. He's got no soul. He's got no remorse. He's got no feelings. He's got no thought process. His job is to kill, maim, and destroy. That's what he does.
That is correct.
That's what AI is. It's soulless. It's heartless. It's got no feeling. It just does what you tell it to do. Yep. Here's what Stanford University said this. They did a study and of some of the AI researchers department. They had a pretty lengthy thesis one of the students wrote, and they did an entire program on this thesis. Here is the gist of it. AI systems are being used in the service of disinformation on the internet, giving them the potential to become a threat to democracy and a tool for fascism. Mm-hmm. Where have we heard that before, Steve? Yep. From deep fake videos, Amelia, where have you and I heard that?
Yeah, Lenny, in our show, we did a lot of those shows.
To bots, you know what bots are, because you do TikTok and shit. To bots manipulating public discourse by faking or feigning consensus and spreading fake news. There is the danger of AI systems undermining the social trust.
Oh, yeah.
Fake news. Where have we heard that one before?
We did a show on
fake
that.
News.
Was that written by a person?
Network. What's that, Mel?
Was that written by a person? Or was that written by AI?
That was written by a person.
Okay.
That was written by a real live human being, believe it or not.
Sorry, I had to ask because these days you never know.
Who that human being was? You're looking at him. That's who the human being was that wrote this shit.
Good.
Here's the thing, and it's important. It's very important. Understand, as much good as it can do the equal amount of damage and worse.
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, these super machines, these super chips, they're computer chips. They're smaller than your fingernail. Do you understand that? Look,
yes,
that's a fingernail, okay? They have chips that you could put on top of your nail and not see it. Where this technology came from, I can only say it probably came from outer space somewhere because the shit's out of this world.
Well, that's It's true. And, I'm thinking of this Neuralink thing that they're trying to turn people into robots now by implanting these things within. You can be healed from any illness or anything.
Well, here's the thing. Let's listen to Elon.
Just for people who haven't thought this through and aren't familiar with it, and the cool parts of artificial intelligence are so obvious. Write your college paper for you, write a limerick about yourself.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot there that's fun and useful. But can you be more precise about what's potentially dangerous and scary? Like, what could it do? What specifically are you worried about?
Going with old sayings, the pen is mightier than the sword. If you have a super intelligent AI that is capable of writing incredibly well and in a way that is very influential, convincing, and is constantly figuring out what is more convincing to people over time, and then enters social media, for example, Twitter, but also Facebook and others, and potentially manipulates public opinion in a way that is very bad. How would we even know?
That's the question. I'm going to stop it there.
Yeah.
How would you know? And this is why I say to you, Pastor Steve, I think Elon is on team good guy. And I'll tell you why. Because he's one of the guys who forefronted, he spearheaded the AI revolution. He's a smart guy. He made his, by the way, did you know Elon is the guy who started PayPal?
Mm-hmm.
And Amelia, did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he started PayPal. And that's where he made his fortune, but he made his name. He made his fortune on PayPal, but he made his name in technology. He builds cars, Teslas.
Yes.
That's his car. And that car is 60% AI. That car will talk to you.
Right.
That car will tell you what to do.
I have a friend who has one, and he tells me that it extends a hand out to him. Mm-hmm. Like, literally, the car does everything. You can walk away from it.
Yeah.
The mirrors fold in by itself and everything. It knows who you are, too. I mean, you control it from yourself.
Yeah, it recognizes you.
Yeah.
It does.
Okay.
We had a one like that before.
60% of that vehicle is AI generated.
Wow.
And that's real. Here's the thing. I really believe Elon is on team good guy because I think he knows the dangers it can possess.
Well, and that's what he just said.
Not only that, let's listen to this. This is what really got me. I want people to, I'm actually going to do something. I was going to do this tomorrow night, but I'm going to do this tonight. I believe this is the last one here. Yep.
Singularity. It's a singularity like a black.
Hold on, folks. Let me bring the other one up. But it's really important. I want to bring it up because we have a couple of videos that are number 3. Where's number 3 at? Is this it? Number 3.
I keep pressing, but just for people who haven't thought this through and aren't familiar with it, and the cool parts of artificial intelligence are so obvious. Write your college paper.
Hold up. Hold on, folks. It's got to be the next one. I've got so many videos in here. Here you go. Hot damn.
We're only putting regulations after something terrible has happened. It may be too late to actually put the regulations in place. The AI may be in control at that point.
You think that's real? It is conceivable that AI could take control and reach a point where you couldn't turn it off, and it would be making the decisions for people.
The dangerous part.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
No, that's definitely the way things are headed, for sure. I mean, the things like say ChatGPT, which is based on GPT-4 from OpenAI, which is a company that I played a critical role in creating, unfortunately.
Back when it was a nonprofit.
You said unfortunately.
Yes.
So much as.
I mean, the reason OpenAI exists at all is that Larry Page and I used to be close friends, and I would stay at his house in Palo Alto, and I would talk to him late into the night about AI safety. And at least my perception was that Larry was not taking AI safety seriously enough.
What did he say about it?
He really seemed to be
Google.
Wants sort of digital superintelligence, basically digital God, if you will, as soon as possible.
He wanted that?
Yes. He's made many public statements over the years that the whole goal of Google is what's called AGI, artificial general intelligence or artificial superintelligence. You know, and I agree with him that there's great potential for good, but there's also potential for bad. And so if you've got some radical new technology, you want to try to take the set of actions that maximize the probability it will do good and minimize the probability it will do bad things.
Yes.
It can't just be hell for leather. Let's just go, barreling forward and, hope for the best. And then at one point, I said, well, what about, we got to make sure humanity's okay here. And then he called me a speciesist.
You heard what I said earlier. They called Elon Musk a speciesist. I've never heard that word before. But a speciesist is somebody apparently who cares about people. Do you hear what Elon said?
A species, yeah.
Elon clearly said that the president, the head of Google, wanted to create a digital God. G-O-D, a digital God. Elon totally disagrees with that. Believe it or not, Elon believes in God. That's why I don't think you got to worry about Elon. However, I do believe that the Antichrist is going to come from the AI field.
I agree with you.
You know?
Absolutely.
I've thought about that quite a bit.
But listen to what he says, Pastor.
Did he use that term?
Yes. And there were witnesses. I wasn't the only one there when he called me a speciesist. And so I was like, okay, that's it. Yes, I'm a speciesist. Okay. You got me. What are you? Yeah, I'm fully a speciesist. Busted.
Yep, busted. He's a speciesist. He cares about people. That's why I think that people don't understand Elon. I think Elon at his heart is a good guy. I think he's an incredibly bright guy. I don't, however, think that Elon is socially adept. He loves to talk to people, but I don't think that he's a social butterfly, only because he feels uncomfortable around large crowds of people.
Yeah, and there are people like that.
And there are a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
Contrary to the president of Google, who loves to stand in front of thousands of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he's a show off and he's promoting his product. So what do you think about that, Pastor, from a biblical standpoint, or not even from a biblical standpoint, from a spiritual standpoint?
On a spiritual standpoint, I think Elon has good intent. I mean, I always thought he had good intentions before, but of course, the question raised about the Neuralink, because I mean, that's where I'm at with it. And if you guys want to look into it, or you feel it, Google it, whatever. And anyway, I think Elon has good intentions, but the road to hell was paved with good intentions.
It is.
But who knows? I think he's sincere from what I can see.
I believe that to be the case. I also believe that this Neuralink is getting a lot of bad press. I think that people don't understand it. And if people don't understand something, what's the first thing they do? They talk shit about it, because they don't take the time to understand it and know.
I just think the concept of, look, I have to have my bear. When I was younger, okay, I wouldn't even care. I would have a drink. I mean, we all smoked pot when we were teenagers, okay. But even that, I mean, I'm not against it. I'm you do what you want to do. But what I'm trying to tell you is
legal now.
It's legal here in New Jersey. The thing is that I have to be in my right. If I don't know my right mind, if something's inside of me, I'm going to skits out. I'm going to have a panic attack, even if it's too much information at me at once. I'm like, this isn't me. I know I would feel that way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where I am with
For sure.
that. Do I think Elon has good intentions? Absolutely. I don't think he ever did have bad intentions. But I mean, just like God uses people, so does the enemy. So I'm like this right
absolutely.
now. I'm like,
but remember something. Remember something. Even if the enemy uses whomever, you know, the enemy can use somebody good, and then again, God can use somebody bad.
What does it say in Amos? I'll command the serpent, he shall bite him. That's what it says. So it could be for our good or for our bad. We don't know. Yeah,
but that reminds me, I have something I want to read. And where is it? Here it is. Hot damn. This is perfect. I'm glad this came up when we were talking about AI tonight and talking about where we just left off about God using good people and bad people. I got something I want to read tonight before we go off the air. Okay. I'll take care of that right now. But understand that what Pastor Steve is talking about, Elon's company, X Incorporated, developed a chip that you can implant in your brain called Neuralink. And it's already been helpful in curing Alzheimer's disease and memory loss. And it's been amazing for people to give them a second chance at life. Some people, the ultra conservatives, however, of which I am a conservative, but I don't consider myself. I don't think I would consider would you consider me an ultra conservative, Pastor?
No.
I'm a conservative, though, for sure.
I'm right about where you are.
Yeah.
You know, we're kind of like around the same.
But here's where people lose us. The ultra conservative movement would say that the Neuralink is the mark of the beast, which, by the way, it is not. Okay. It's not the mark of the beast because it's implanted. The mark of the beast is clearly visible. It will be clearly visible. You have to have it. You have to present it to be able to do anything. The Neuralink goes inside your body. And I believe it's helping a lot of people. They're talking to people and their families, and it's amazing what kind of reaction he's getting. And he's not getting any government funding. This is all from his pocket, all this research. So I give Elon kudos for that. Until, again, like I say, everybody is innocent until proven guilty.
Right, and that's where I'm at. I'm on the fence with this.
He's so far he's innocent.
I'm skeptical, if you know what I mean. I'm
you can be a healthy skeptic,
right? And that's why I'm always.
He's waiting for the other shoe to drop, basically. Yeah,
that's right. Be wise as a serpent, but gentle as a dove.
Yes,
that's exactly where I'm at. So I'm like, you know.
Now let me read this. I get emails and I get comments all the time, saying, you know, everything's from you're a wonderful guy to you're a prick and you're an asshole and you're this and that. Okay. I need to address that. Okay. I have a bit of an edge, and I know I have an edge. I was born with this edge, and me and God talk about it all the time. I said, look, I'm a hot mess, but I'm your hot mess. You created this mess. Here the fuck I am.
We're all that
way.
So
for many years, more than I care to remember, I kept my mouth shut and my opinions to myself. A good guy causing little to no trouble. That's not bullshit. That's real. As I grew up, it became clear to me, both as a man and as a new follower of Jesus, that I could no longer remain silent. I had to speak my truth, whether or not the world was ready to hear it. And the world wasn't ready to hear it. Because I know that even if that were the case, and I pray that it's not, even if that were the case, the world was not ready to hear it. Because I know that even if that were the case, there were good people who did need to hear what I had to say. My podcast has evolved from a small 2-man operation at our kitchen table to what it's become now. In the process, I've lost 2 co-hosts. God has taken 2 of my co-hosts home. Okay? And I miss them dearly. I don't mention them enough, but Shirley and Jeff Dureth. Shirley Bolstock and Jeff Dureth. As I said, my podcast has evolved from a small 2-man operation to what it has become. And nearly 11 million people later are listening worldwide on various radio and podcast media around the globe. God, whether I want to admit it or not, has navigated this show and my life in the way he wants it to go and not the way I wanted it to go. God loves me, big mouth and all. He loves me knowing fully well I'm a hot mess. But I'm God's hot mess, and maybe, just maybe, my bad attitude today is God's purpose for me to get his point across to a select few of his chosen people. I pray I'm one of them. In the last 25 years, the internet has been filled with endless new age prophecy, ancient alien history, websites, and other assorted garbage. Now, while some of it is interesting and some of it has good sound advice and teaching, there are also many that have lies and deep deception. This won't be one of those sites. We will tell you the truth, whether you like it or don't. And that's the way it is, folks. That's my confession to my co-host, to my preacher, to my audience, to my whoever the hell wants to listen. There you go. And for that, I make no fucking apologies. Ever. Okay? There's 2 words you're not ever going to hear from my mouth anymore, if I can help it, is I'm sorry. I might say I'm fucking sorry, but I won't. But I won't say I'm sorry. On that note, by the way, Amelia.
Yes.
I forgot to go to you. Let's bring up the big camera. What's coming up? What do we got coming up? I forgot. I almost signed off without going, Amelia, what's coming up?
Tomorrow we have a show of Elon Musk. We're going to actually talk about him tomorrow, and still artificial intelligence.
Talk about Elon and AI and how that all relates into the Bible.
Mm-hmm. And Monday, September 25th, we're going to talk about climate change, and on the 26th,
climate change and weaponized weather.
Yes,
and how the Bible plays into that one too.
Yes, on both nights.
You notice there's a theme here. Every show we're doing ties into Scripture. I planned it that way purposely, because I don't care what you mention, anything at all, anything that you mention is going to be in the Bible.
And signs are here, right? And we're getting signs
marriage,
too.
Children, murder, rape, incest, a sunny day, a rainy day, good people, bad people, all kinds of people, big, fat, short. Look, there's the great big giant Goliath and little tiny David. Okay,
right.
You go from little to big.
Yeah, and
everything in between, you know.
And you ask for signs, and he's giving the signs. He gives the signs.
What are you babbling about? What?
And the signs. He's giving us signs right now too.
Yes, he is.
Yes. The sign says it's time to get off the air, Angela. Okay. 4, Amelia the Pitbull Chapman. 4, Pastor Steve Kwiatkowski, Union Church in the Wilderness. I'm the Mad Dog, Angelo DeCipio. Goodbye, folks. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Good night.